The Student Savings Dashboard is a great way for your library to measure how much money the library collection potentially saves students who would otherwise need to buy their course materials. You can access the dashboard from the Data Visualization folder within the Leganto folder of Analytics. Look for the dashboard titled Leganto Student Savings. This dashboard is designed to provide you with the data you need to measure and demonstrate the real value that the library brings to the students at your institution. You can use it to promote the impact that library resources have on students in their courses. The first tab is meant to provide you with a very quick way to share the financial value that the library brings to students at your institution. This number is pulled from one of the other reports, which I'll show you, but we included the graphic that you can use if you want to share this information, such as in your annual report. To export the page, just click on Export and choose either File or Print. For example, you can put this image into a PowerPoint in case you want to share it with your institution's leadership or other library stakeholders. The first three sets of tabs measure student savings by enrollment. These tabs will be relevant if you are adding the number of participants field to your course records. The second tab shows savings per year by enrollment. The entire Leganto Student Savings Dashboard assumes that a Leganto reading list is worth approximately $75 to the student per course. There is a disclaimer at the top that you can use to explain this number, but essentially it uses course cost estimates provided by other organizations, as well as the understanding that Leganto lists tend to be made up of a combination of several books, articles, chapters, videos, and more. We believe that you will be able to find many examples of reading lists that would cost your students at least $75 if they were expected to buy the materials themselves. The Savings Per Year Enrollment tab shows how much money the library is saving students per year for each of the last 5 years. The calculation behind the scenes is the sum of all of the number of students' fields for the course records for that year, multiplied by $75. Students enrolled in more than one course would be counted once per course. That sum is the brown bar per year. The blue line is the cumulative savings, adding up the savings year over year. The last number here is the cumulative savings for the past 5 years, and this is the same number we saw on the first tab, so now you can see how it's been calculated. Next, we have the Savings by Enrollment tab. Again, we can see this total estimated savings information. Additionally, this tab shows the total number of students who were impacted by the library. This number might be higher than the number of students enrolled at your institution, because students enrolled in more than one course are counted more than once, and they're counted for each year that they're enrolled. Finally, you can see the number of courses that had Leganto lists, and below you can see the data broken down to the specific course level, letting you see all of the data that's included in these summaries. Again, you can export these dashboards, such as to PowerPoint or CSV format, if you'd like to share them further. The last three tabs have similar information, but use the student usage information instead of student enrollment. Here we again have the visual, but the number in this case is different because it's based on the number of students who use the reading list for their courses, meaning they access the Leganto list at least once. The fifth tab shows again the year-over-year information. In this case, the calculation is the sum of all of the students who used a Leganto reading list linked to a course with a 2020 course year, multiplied by 75. A student who used a list more than once is only counted once for that course, but if the student was enrolled in multiple courses, they're counted multiple times, once per course. Again, there's also the cumulative savings, and the number at the top here is also the number from the previous tab. Finally, we have the Savings by Usage tab, where we can see the total estimated savings for the last 5 years. The number of unique students again counts the number of students per course. You can also see the number of courses that had active students, meaning at least one student accessed the Leganto list for that course. And again, the full course details are below. All of the tabs except the Image tabs include the option to filter to a specific course year or academic department. If you want to pull savings information for a specific academic department or specific year, you can easily do so by just adding the filters up here. The data will adjust immediately. If you want to make bigger changes to this dashboard, for example, to change the value of the list from $75 to something else, you'll need to make a copy of the dashboard and save it in a personal or institutional folder. Here, I'll click on Copy, and then go to the place I want to put the dashboard and choose Paste. Now I have an editable version of the dashboard. Note that this is a complex dashboard, so you'll need to find the piece or pieces of information that you want to change. As an example, if I want to change this to a different currency, I can click on the report I want to change, click on the Properties icon, then click on the Values tab to change the currency. We'll change to Australian dollars. Note that each report is managed separately, so you'll need to change for each of the reports that you plan to use at your institution. Similarly, you can change the value that's used for the calculation from 75 to something else. The calculations are all available here. You can find the ones you need and edit them from 75 to something else. Note that depending on which reports you plan to use, you will likely need to change the value in many or all of the calculations. Once you've made the relevant changes, save the dashboard and use your version moving forward. Thanks for watching. We hope that this dashboard will provide you with a new resource to help you express the value of your library to students and other stakeholders at your institution.